Damn, man.
John, how did the knee feel, and kind of what was the process that told you when you were going to be ready to come back?
It felt great. Been out for a little bit. I was more concerned on how am I getting better to come back today, and obviously it felt great. That's why I was more of a, how can I say, I was just more sure of my knees, just being ready, and I felt like today was the day.
Coming off the bench, just what was your approach and what were you kind of looking for in that spot?
I wasn't concerned about coming off the bench. Like we always say, like Coach always say, it don't matter. As long as you go in there, you give all you got, they're going to keep you in there. So I was just more concerned on just going there and just impacting, win, because a win is a win at the end of the day, and just play my game and that's pretty much it.
How tough was it for you mentally to be away from the team for 6 games in such, an important stretch of the season?
I was always with him. Not playing with him, but I felt like, especially times when you're not playing, the main focus is just staying mentally tough and thinking that you're in a game with him, because that's when you learn. And obviously that just gave me time to sit down and because they changed a different pace of how they were playing, and that just gave me a time to learn and just get my mental and my spirit and my body ready to just go out there and be with them. But obviously I didn't feel any difference because we always together.
What did kind of tell you, I don't know if it was in warm-ups today, but what kind of gave you, the full clearance on the knee that you felt good enough? Was it?
The time that I was off, I wasn't just sitting down. I was just working out, getting my knee stronger, and I was just getting ready for whenever I'm ready to come back. And I think, like I said, today was just the day where I was just full. I felt like I was back to myself. And I decided to just say it's time to come play.
You had 10 rebounds tonight. Was that concerted effort tonight, or did they just kind of fall to you, did you feel?
I don't know if you remember when the season started. I think the concern was how is JK going to rebound? And I feel like every other day I get a chance to step on the floor, it's just getting better at rebounding, because it's big for us. Everybody got a rebound.
Kerr said they're likely going to stick with Trace and Draymond in the starting lineup, which probably means that you're coming off the bench. Has he talked to you about that, and how okay are you with, you were in the starting lineup for a long time, put up some numbers?
Don't affect me at the end of the day. As long as I know I go out there and just affect us winning, that's all that matters, Everybody could play, and at the end of the day, it's coach's decisions. If that's how I feel like everything is moving well, why would you want to go away from while moving well? And me personally, I think since I've been out, everything's been moving just fine. And it's not because I'm out, that's why we're moving fine. But at this point, everything is moving well. We're just going to stick with what's going to help us win and just keep winning games.
You guys are in 10th place. It's obviously been discussion. Are you going to get in the play-in? And other teams are ahead of you, but you could end up with a better record than last season. And Kurt just said you're definitely a better team than last season. Do you feel like this is a better team than last season?
Obviously, like I say, at the end of the day, it's going to come down to how we're playing. We're not even worried about what's going on at this point, we're taking day by day, step by step, every game that we get a chance to play, we obviously going to go out there and just try our best to win. As team-wise, I feel like we're a better team every other day, not just last year, just every other day as we all together and we learn from each other every single day. I feel like we're getting better. So.
Steve was saying, if you continue to play the way you guys have been over this last stretch, you have a chance to close out the season really strong, maybe win these final 4 games. What do you think needs to happen for that to happen?
It's just pretty much staying locked in. Like I say, it's a day-to-day thing. It's a game-to-game thing. And every game matters at this point. So obviously just moving forward, it's just us being more focused. And I feel like as long as we're more focused, it's going to be hard for us to lose games.
Yeah, obviously, there's been a lot of winning going on, but how do you think the team is playing overall right in this moment?
I think we're playing really well. Obviously, we lost last game, but we haven't been, completely healthy. So we've just been finding ways to win right now. But hopefully we can I know Steph will be back, but, Wiggs back soon. But I think we're playing really well, offensively especially. We're sharing the ball. It's not sticking out there. And we're just playing together, having fun.
How was it having JK back tonight?
Oh, it was amazing. I'd assume when Steph comes back and Wiggs comes back, they'll go back to the original starting lineup. That's won quite a bit, so it'll be fun to have me, Chris, and Jonathan coming off the bench together. If that's what happens, but he's so athletic and he impacts the game. Has so much force. It's easy to play with him.
Brandon, what's the mindset of the team with just 4 games left? You just, as well as you guys have been playing, you're stuck in 10th place still and kind of treading water there. I mean, what's the mindset looking at what's ahead of you this coming week?
Yeah, it's controlling what we can control, which is going 4-0. Obviously, we have a chance to play the Lakers and the Pelicans, who are ahead of us, and I believe Pelicans play the Kings as well. Lakers play tonight against Minnesota, so if we control what we can control and, go 4-0, it puts us in pretty good shape to, get above that 10 seed.
Apart from the preparation with the team for these next 4 games that are really important, what is your preparation like? Apart from the gym, apart from the videos, you by yourself in your room or at the gym by yourself, what's your preparation like?
Yeah, I think for me, just continuing to be solid, always watching my matchups, who I might guard. I know Tuesday I'll probably guard a lot of D'Angelo Russell, Austin Reeves, so just getting ready for that. And then for me offensively, I feel like everything just comes naturally to me. So for me, it's more defensively and how I can impact the game. But then, just taking care of your body.
You mentioned that second unit with you, Chris, and JK. Mm-hmm. What do you think would be the pros and cons of that combination?
I only like to think of the pros, but I think we can play fast, but there's also a good mix of, Chris playing how he plays in the half court, getting JK his touches where he likes the ball, and I think when you put a combination of that, it bodes well for us.
I know guys like to have defined roles, and it's always kind of better to be a starter, I guess. But do you and Chris and Kuminga pride yourselves on being able to kind of do both?
Yeah, I think for me, I think I'm just happy that I'm playing. Obviously, this organization in the past didn't really play rookies, and I'm playing close to 30 minutes a night. So just to have that, no matter if I'm starting, coming off the bench, I'm just happy that I'm playing. And I think as a rookie, that's your job, to be able to adapt to whatever situation you're put in. And, for the most part, we haven't had a set starting lineup this year, so everybody's kind of had make changes to what they're accustomed to, and we've done that for the most part. We've had a really good record since the All-Star break.
You guys rested Steph tonight. Obviously, Steve felt he could see Steph kind of have a relaxing night. I mean, did you see that? And just as a player, how much beyond just, sometimes you can limit a guy's minutes, but when you're not playing for a full day, how much more of an off day is that?
Yeah, I think it's super beneficial for Steph. Obviously, with the passing of Coach Decky and reschedule the game, we haven't had a stretch where we've had 2 days off. So it's either been back-to-back or every other night. And for him, carrying the load how he does, I think it's super beneficial for him to get another couple days off. So he's ready to go for this playoff push. But yeah, I think for me, I missed 2 games, Boston and Toronto. The feeling when you come back and you haven't played in a while, you feel refreshed and ready to go.
Brandon, how much fun are you having watching Trace with these lobs and some of the posters that he's had in the last few weeks?
Yeah, I'm having so much fun just to experience the journey with him since we got drafted on June 22nd, and to see how we went to Santa Cruz together, how we came up and we didn't play, to both of us being in and out of the rotation, to both of us starting some games, finally getting, I think we started our first game together tonight. It's been really fun to see his growth. So I think he has a real shot of making an all-rookie team.
How many dunks have you had this year?
I think it's maybe 4.
Oh, was that your best, do you think, tonight?
Nah, I would say when I go to Milwaukee, my legs feel extra good. But yeah, it felt pretty good tonight.
And how much fun have you had this year, given the fact that, playing in Santa Clara, you're able to stay local, and then, of course, coming from Santa Cruz and being here with the Warriors?
Yeah, I've had so much fun, so much experience, so much knowledge I've gained. It's really, fun for me to be so close to Santa Clara, getting to, spend some off days down there, seeing friends, teammates from last year, and then having the opportunity for them to come watch me play, kind of whenever they really want to is, something that I enjoy, and I know they do too. But just the whole journey hasn't even been a year that I've been a Warrior, so it's been really fun, and we still got a lot more to go.
Brandon, you're always so polite and friendly and saying hello and using our names, and same I've seen you with staff members too and employees around the building. Have you always been such an outgoing guy since you were little? Is that just in your DNA, so to speak?
Yeah, I think if you guys know my dad, he's a talker. But I think me going to military school in high school really taught me that portion, and I really, found out. My dad told me all the time that life is all about relationships, and it's about who you know, not necessarily what you know. So to be able to be surrounded by you guys, the staff, just knowing different things, you may help me down the road, and it's because of our relationship that we were able to reconnect. So I think it's super important to know people's names, get to know them a little bit, and go from there.
You seem to really enjoy it. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think life's better when you're happy. Obviously, sometimes on the court I don't really look the happiest, but it's just all out of love of the game. But off the court, I try to be as personable as I can and get to know everybody, get to know my teammates, their families. Like I said, it's all about relationships.
All right, Fred, we got
Klay might have heard you pregame talking about how good you feel. Was that just the pregame shooting? Was that just all day you felt good? And did that carry over into the game, I imagine?
I think being home after such a long trip or trips helped a lot, and I just felt really good body-wise today. I didn't feel any pain anywhere, and I thought that transferred over nicely to the gameplay.
How often does that happen when you don't feel any pain going into a game?
Most of the time, but it's 82 games. You're not going to be 100% every night. Yeah. I mean, what have I missed? Maybe 3-4 games this year? That's incredible after 2 years of rehab plus. So that's something I can hang my hat on and be proud of, is just being durable throughout the season.
Klay, Steve was just saying that he thinks not only is this team probably going to finish with a better record than last year, but that it's a better team and that he likes your chances no matter where you end up in this coming week. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
How is it a better team?
Well, that's to be determined. We got to obviously advance past the West semis, but I think we're playing the best brand of basketball we played all season, and I am going to be very confident going into the play-in. I'm not saying we're better than last year because we haven't advanced further than that, so I can't say that with as much confidence.
Klay, Jonathan and Brandon were both just in here, and they were speaking a little bit along the lines of how whoever's playing or in the rotation or whoever's coming off the bench, it's everybody just believing and doing what you can to help the team win. And you've been in different positions. How much do you appreciate those guys like Brandon and Looney doing whatever he has to do if it's not being in the rotation for a stretch, and how important that is to what's going on now with the wins?
I appreciate both those guys, and especially Loon. Been with Loon for almost 10 years now, and he is the ultimate professional basketball player. And yeah, our young guys have been great this season, and without them, we would not have the chance to enter the playoffs and hit our stride at this moment. So they've been awesome, every single one of them.
What do you think of the plan a few years in? And, like, you know, if this was most of your career, you guys would be, you know, desperately trying to get to 8 to get in, but now you're pretty settled.
Well, lucky us. So we get a chance to compete in the postseason, and I'm very grateful for that, because there was a time where the Warriors made the postseason once in 18 years. So I hope people can be grateful for that we have a chance to, you know, chase greatness.
Klay, you moved to the bench for a while and started really getting hot shooting there, and maybe the role kind of helped settle some things, but now you're back in the starting lineup and you're still shooting really well. Do you think staying in the starting lineup is the way to go right now? And do you think you're just on a roll either way, I would guess, as a question?
I think I'm playing with a great rhythm right now, and we have become accustomed to how to play with different guys in different lineups. Whether I start or I come off the bench, I'm going to be myself, and I'm going to do everything I can to help this team win games. So at this point in my career, I'm just grateful to be healthy and playing a lot of minutes in the NBA.
Klay, throughout the season, the Warriors fans were not so sure that you guys were going to make it to where you are right now. Did you ever feel like there was a specific moment in the middle of the season or at the beginning of the season or towards the end of the season where you yourself felt that there was a change, and as a team you felt that there was something pivotal that happened that really changed the future, and now you're into a postseason?
I think when we got to Miami and we got to have a beach day, I think that really changed everything. So you just get to go to the ocean, and you get to go to the beach, and you get to throw a football, you get to swim, you get to just be free and have fun. I think that really just sets your mind free, and it was just so fun to be down there with the guys and just have a day away from the court that really, I think, had us bond well together, and I think that was a huge turning point.
How many guys were at beach day?
I'm sure everyone got their feet in the sand, which is a form of grounding, which is very important.
Klay, you mentioned the amount of games you've played this season, how amazing it is given what you've been through. Does it, at some point, do you think it is amazing, even to yourself, that you've done this? And what do you think it's proven?
I think it is amazing, because it's easy to fall in love with the great shooting nights and big scoring outputs, but unless you've been through a Achilles rehab or ACL, it's very difficult. And to do that in 2 years and come out and play in 94% of games, I mean, that's what I'm proud of. That's what I'm most proud of, is just being available and being a constant in the lineup, because the NBA season is strenuous, it's long, and it takes a lot of discipline to be able to do it nightly. And that's one thing I am very proud of this season, is just my ability to play in this amount of games.
We know you came back in the middle of the season 2 years ago, and then played the most minutes of anybody in the playoffs than last year. But how much better, say, do you feel towards the end of the season than you have felt, say, the past 2 seasons?
I feel great, but feels very similar to last year and the year beforehand. You should be in peak physical shape at this point with the amount of games we played. So doesn't feel much different, but mentally I feel incredible, just knowing what we've accomplished and have the opportunity to do going forward. It's really special.
Speaking of going forward, I mean, how do you envision the last 4 games going? As far as, I mean, I'm sure you'd like to win them all, but
that's the goal, to win them all. We know how hard it is to win in LA. We can do it. We've done it before, so it would be nice to go 4-0. That would be a nice cherry on top to a good regular season. Nice.
What did you think of Kuminga in his first game back, and what kind of went into the decision to bring him off the bench?
Yeah, J.K. did a great job tonight. He looked bouncy and strong, and I watched him work out yesterday. He got a great workout in, and the decision to start Brandon was based on combinations with Steph out, and we want to keep starting Draymond and Trace for defensive reasons, and so it felt like a better combination if we started Brandon and brought Jonathan off the bench.
Yeah, you said there's a chance that Kuminga is on the bench. I mean, when you can sub in he and Moody and then Peyton, do you like that kind of, I don't know, change of pace, the athleticism? You can just kind of change the game a little bit with those
yeah,
guys?
I mean, bringing Jonathan off the bench and watching him run the floor and attack the rim, that's a great dynamic to have off the bench. But we have to see when Steph is back. We got to find exactly how we want to do this, because we really felt good about J.K. starting for about 30 straight games with Draymond at the 5. But given what's happened over the last couple of weeks, I want to keep starting Trace. So if JK's coming off the bench and he plays the way he did tonight, then great. So we'll figure it out.
Steve, how much did Klay getting in an early rhythm really give you guys some momentum that sort of carried things?
He was amazing. I thought early on the ball was moving well, and he hit some tough shots too, but he got some open ones. And second quarter, not quite the same. We didn't move the ball as well, but Klay's shot making really helped us get that lead.
I think you played Chris Paul 35 minutes. Was that the plan, or was it just going well?
No, I wanted to play him the first maybe 3 minutes of the fourth quarter and keep him around 29 or 30. But they won the first 6 minutes of the quarter, 18-10, with Klay and Chris on the floor. So the plan was to extend the lead with those guys, get them off, get them rest. But at that point, it's a 12-point game where I'm not taking them out. So Chris played a little more than I wanted him to play, but he said he was fine. He felt great.
Coach, you guys have like a pretty tight schedule coming up with the play-in and potentially playoffs. Do the conversations now change in the locker room, or do you guys just keep the same conversations?
Well, we always talk to the team about what's happening in the standings, playoff stuff. So I know the players talk about that stuff on their own, but we always make sure we mention it as a team, so the guys are really clear about what we're fighting for and what we're trying to do. So it's going to be very interesting. 4 games left and lots of different possibilities. We just got to keep winning.
It looked like Draymond went to the locker room for a bit there. Was he available in the fourth quarter?
He was available, yeah.
Was he dealing with a little lower back thing?
Yeah, he went in to have his back checked, but he said he was fine.
Got you. Steph, obviously you rested him today because you've seen the fatigue in him lately. Where do you see fatigue in Steph? When you feel like he's tired, where does it show in his game, do you think?
I think in his movement a little bit, maybe his judgment. I thought he looked good in Houston and Dallas. But before that, I thought he just looked like he wasn't moving quite as fluidly. And so, with Steph, he's it's important to get him a rest, not just for his legs, but just for his mind, keep him fresh. And so taking the day off today was, I think, a big deal for him. He just looked relaxed. He enjoyed himself on the bench with his teammates tonight, and I know this will do him some good.
Well, Steve, the concept of starting Trace and allowing that allowing Draymond to be kind of the center fielder and stuff. When did that light bulb go on? When did that start clicking?
Well, it's something we've done in the past. Obviously we've started Draymond and Loon together for years, and before that, there was a series of centers who we played next to Draymond. So Bogut, David West at times, JaVale McGee, Loon. So we prefer to do that, but we really struggled with that group with Loon and Draymond and Wiggs, Steph, Klay out of the gate. That was the best lineup in the league last year, and we gave it 25 games and we just couldn't get there. And so over the next 30 games or so, we were really searching and trying different things, and so we didn't really get to it until when we did.
Random question. Does anybody have more fun playing basketball than Gary Payton?
Maybe Steph, but it's close. Yeah, I love watching Gary play. It's there's an energy about him. He also just knows he makes the right play constantly catching the ball, swinging it immediately. He understands the importance of that type of action, and then the way he can dive and finish at the rim. He's a terrific player. And then, I thought Loon was great tonight. He's been out of the rotation quite a bit, and I hated ending his consecutive game streak. It was awful, and but we did what we needed to do to try to get the team going. And of course, Loon being the professional he is, he just kept going, and now he's played the last 5 games. He's a plus 23 in 13 minutes tonight. I mean, this is who he is. He's the ultimate pro and winner, and love that guy. So really fun to see him out there.
He never got mad at you.
I'm sure he was mad at me, but he hit it well.
Lakers are down 15 at half right now. If they do lose, you would control your own destiny against them, making Tuesday's game obviously pretty massive. Like how big, if the tiebreaker's on the line and you do control your own destiny, how big do you view that game, and how big do you view the difference between 9 and 10 potentially with a home playing game?
Yeah, I don't know. We're a better road team than a home team this year, but there's so many scenarios. It seems like with Phoenix, and I know Phoenix lost tonight, and with New Orleans, Sacramento, we're all kind of right there. But the Dallas game hurt, for us, because if we could have pulled that one off, I think we had a shot to even climb up to 7 or 8, and so we're still behind the 8 ball a little bit, and we're just going to keep trying to win, and we'll see what happens.
Steve, how valuable is it to be able to switch Trace and Brandon in particular in and out of starting roles, especially given how young they are, how early it is in their pro career?
Yeah, it's not often that you can start a couple of rookies and feel good about it. So these guys are wise beyond their years. Trace has a ton of college experience behind him that helped prepare him for this. Brandon doesn't, but just seems to have a natural feel for the game. And both guys have been fantastic this year. And our front office really nailed the draft, and it's fun to see them developing, and watching J.K. and Moses, our young guys. It's been a really good year for the growth of the young talent on the team.
You mentioned a few times a couple weeks ago that you could feel a good run coming. Who knows? A 10 game winning streak is out there. Maybe some people rolled their eyes a little bit about that. Maybe, but is this what you were saying, or do you feel there's better play out there for your team?
I mean, tonight wasn't a fair fight. I mean, they were missing all their guys, and I give Utah a lot of credit because they hung in till the end and played really hard. But I think that the totality of the last few weeks, I mean, you're seeing what we're capable of. I think we've won 7 out of 8. I think we have a shot to really close it out with 4 straight wins, maybe. I mean, if you do that and you win 11 out of 12, 10 out of 12, something like that, that's the kind of run that I've been talking about. So I do feel like we're kind of playing the way I expected us to, and we've found a pretty good rhythm. Problem, of course, is the West is just loaded this year. We're going to probably end up with a better record than last year, and still drop from sixth to somewhere in the play-in. So it's the way it goes.
That's what I was going to ask you. I mean, if you end up with a better record, are you a better team than last season?
Oh yeah, we're definitely a better team. Better two-way basketball, better, I think, connection, better chemistry. There's a much better vibe with this team. So I still believe firmly that we can do something special. Obviously, it's going to be a lot harder than it normally would. We're going to have to win, at least one, probably two play-in games, and that's not easy. But, if we can get a chance, I like this group's chances.
Steve, back to Brandon, real quick. When did you maybe notice his attention to detail? And I don't necessarily Brandon, not just on the court, but before the game, he walked up and said, "Hi, Scott. How are you?" Just little things like that.
Why did he say hi to Scott?
I don't know. But just thoughtfulness, attention to detail. He's a rookie. I guess maybe if he were 5 years in or 2 years in, but those kinds of things matter.
Give him time. He'll know not to say hi to Scott.
Okay.
Yeah. Once he gets some experience. No, he's a really bright young guy, and he loves the game. Some players, the game just comes naturally to, and you can see that the game is comfortable for him, and he's also comfortable off the floor. He's just very confident, and loves coming in here every day, and apparently enjoys seeing Scott too. So.